at this time more than ever, we need to continue to show up.
But like to some kids, a point is everything, and it gives them a little bit of what they're missing from school.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brianna and I am a fourth year, third grade teacher in North Carolina. And clearly I have a new favorite shirt because every time I get ready, this is just seeming to be what I put on. I love this shirt. It's from Boohoo and I just feel like green is my color. So I was trying to think of ways that I can help in this remote learning time period we're in without being too overwhelming, because I don't know about you guys, but especially in the beginning, I was beyond overwhelmed with all of the free websites, all of the codes that you needed to use to access those free websites, each of them being different and unique, and all of the resources that people were putting for free on TPT, and all of the resources that people were mentioning on Facebook, and all of the resources that my principal, assistant principal, guidance counselors, and coworkers were emailing all at once. Thumbs up this video if you agree that it was a lot. And it was almost like, oh, well, it's all good, so I want to use it, but like, where do I even begin? And oh my goodness. So I haven't filmed a video about remote learning because, or like remote learning resources, because I felt like there was enough and everybody's going to pick and choose what works best for them, and that's just how it had to be. And since the whole situation was just so overwhelming already, I decided to take a step back from that. Now, of course, being on our second month in, we have a system and I am really enjoying it. But there is something new that I started this week that won't necessarily be new for all of you that I wanted to share. So I started giving dojo points again. Now, on my Instagram, I asked you all if you use dojo and if you are continuing to use it, whether that's just for parent contact or if you're giving points as well. And then a lot of you mentioned the portfolio aspect. I just wanted to share about some of the unique ways that I'm still trying to incorporate those positive points as motivation, as ways to keep track of student work, as ways to show parents that I am holding their children accountable, and different things like that. So if there are any other ways that I don't mention in this video that you are using ClassDojo, make sure you let us know down below, because as always, we're all in this together. I'm going to switch to my computer screen, and of course you can do all these things from your phone or iPad as well. They may look a little bit different, but I figured we all have access to a computer, so I will just head on over there.
Okay, so on my screen now, I am in a demo class that I am connected to as a parent. So don't worry, you know, Johnny Depp and Matt Damon are not my real students, unfortunately. Anyway, I wanted to go through the different ways that I have been using ClassDojo in my classroom. Now, the most popular among everyone, I believe, would be the class story option and the messages. So on my class story, I just put a few examples on here. Don't worry, these images I just got from random children on Google, so they were already out there, stock images. But I put some examples of how I have been using my story page, and all of these links are random, so if you try to go to them, they probably don't exist. But anyway, majority of my posts have been reminding parents. Daily, I just give a little blurb about what they need to be doing. We have been using Google Classroom to post majority of their assignments, so I've just been giving little updates on the ClassDojo side of things. I'm also doing this here instead of just on Google Classroom because I do have a few children whose parents are connected to Dojo, but they're not on Google Classroom since they're doing packets rather than online work. So I did go through a few times and post my little video expectations for my kids, and I put this on here for all of them to see, hoping that it would get some of my kids who are doing packets to work online, and I think that did work. I think this is something that was really, really helpful because my district left it as an option, especially for those who don't have internet or don't have a device or just have too many siblings at home to all be able to get on at once. In the beginning, our packets and our online work matched, and I do believe it was easier to do it in the packet. So this was me converting everyone over to the internet once we started doing iReady lessons. Also, something I did in the beginning, again, these pictures are from Google. I asked my kids to send in pictures of where they were working, and I just put a little blurb on it, kind of like a little Instagram feed. That way they can see each other and feel special and interact with their classmates again. So I posted different places they were working. Some of my kids were working on their trampoline. That was really cool. One of them actually has a camper, so she would go out to her camper to work, and that was her school for the day. So just a way for them to share with each other. And then I started having kids send me things they were doing at recess. Again, this is not my student. This is from Google. But I did have one student who went fishing. I had one who was on his dirt bike. So the kids were really excited to be sending in pictures and sharing. So that was a fun way to connect. I did that the first few weeks. So that's just an idea of how you can use the story. Again, there was a point where we were taking a few days off, and they were considered catch-up days, and I had my kids work on their IXL diagnostics, so there were no assignments being posted on Google Classroom, so that's when I started using ClassDojo a lot more, just to keep talking to the parents. And then, again, I was updating them with the link for yearbook, some positive news on there. So that's one way that I've been interacting with my parents. Another way is through the messages, and I discovered something because I'm sure so many of you have been messaging back and forth with your parents. One thing here, I'm Brad Pitt's mom, if you didn't know. I actually posted this on my Instagram story, so if you're not following me there, go check it out, but I am going to show you how to schedule a post on the computer. On my Instagram, I showed what it looks like on the app for your phone or tablet, so that may be helpful as well. I just scheduled messages to be posted at 8 a.m., and it's amazing, so let me show you. I would put, "Good morning, please complete tell and write time." Okay, so just a random little message. It's weird because sometimes I direct these towards the children, yet sometimes I direct them towards the parents, so it's really just random. I'm sitting here editing this video, and for some reason, part of my screen recording cut out. So anyway, I had said, I know that a lot of you have probably been sleeping in a little bit extra, so this was an easy way to get out a message early in the morning for my early risers to get started on their work, and I didn't have to wake up earlier to type all of these out just so they would be out at a reasonable time. This is why I really enjoyed scheduling messages. Now, once your message is typed out, you're going to come over to the send button, but you're going to click on this arrow that's next to it. And then you are going to press the check mark for schedule message, and you can choose your date. I think my video comes back here. So back to that. I mean, yeah, this is taking up a good amount of my time, but it's me interacting with each of my individual families and showing them that I'm making the effort. So I don't find a problem in it. But what I would typically do is I would click the date, and then I would change this to just send to them at 8 a.m. And then you hit schedule. And on the computer, it's down here. On your phone, it's up here, which is why you should go look on my Instagram because it's a little bit different there. But it shows you the message that's going to post. And then when it does eventually post, it'll just go through like a normal message. And there's nothing else you have to do. So you can always see that it's scheduled and it's ready to go. Unfortunately, I don't believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe there's a way to do that on your story yet. And I wish there was. I also want to play around with this events tab because that's something that I've never used that I want to use a lot more in the future. Not for remote learning, but just for my class in general. Because I don't know about you guys, but remote learning has taught me how to become a much better communicator with parents, and I am forever grateful for it because that was something that I used to be afraid of, honestly. Now, a lot of you said you have been using portfolios for kids to submit their work. I'm not going to show you this side of it because I'm sure by now all of you have figured out different ways that you're having your students submit assignments. But ClassDojo has even switched over assigned classwork directly to student devices. So just play around with this because there's different things to do on here now. Now that we are far into remote learning, this isn't something I would suggest to switch to, but it is interesting and neat that that is an aspect that Dojo has put out for us. I know the portfolios have been here, but now it's directed more towards their work. So that is a nice tool that is there. Now, the main thing that I wanted to make this video about was how I have incorporated giving points to my students. These are the little points that I have come up with or I'm just suggesting. I have completed all daily work, answered the most IXL questions, completed optional work, daily writing prompt, epic, IXL prodigy. Okay, so on my actual dojo with my kids, I don't have these four here. Daily writing prompt, prodigy, IXL, epic is all the optional work. So I just went with this button. At first I was like, maybe I could switch it up like this, but I just realized that that was really extra, but that is something that you can do. I like this because it shows parents that I'm checking. It shows them that I see their kids working, and it shows them that I'm not just assigning random things and just letting them do whatever. It shows them that I'm paying attention to what their child's work is and that I care. And I think that's something that's been lacking. I feel like at first everyone was like, oh my goodness, teachers are amazing, they deserve the world. And then I feel like now the comments have set in where it's like, wow, teachers don't have to go back and work this year. They're getting an extended break. And that's just not true. So I feel like this kind of helps that. I don't know. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. This is just putting in a little bit of extra effort to show parents that you are keeping track of what their children are doing and you are seeing that they're doing that extra optional work and you're rewarding them for it. Now, I know it's just a point, but like to some kids, a point is everything, and it gives them a little bit of what they're missing from school. I don't have any needs work. These are the originals that Dojo just puts in, so I'm not using negative points at all. But the 3 days that we were just working on our IXL diagnostic, I was giving out this 2 points to whoever answered the most questions because they spent a long time on there and I wanted to show them that I knew they were spending that time on there. I've been using this one the most, completed all daily work, and I really like that because that also shows parents that I'm checking daily that the work is complete and I'm holding their kids accountable. I just feel like I've talked to some people who they're like, oh, my kids aren't doing anything. Now, I understand families who are suffering and need to focus on other things. But I'm talking about the families that can get their work done that are now slacking off because of the permanent closure for the rest of the year. I feel like this is a bit of that accountability piece. If you are the teacher and you're holding them accountable, then they're going to make more of an effort to actually get that work done. And I just feel like it's made a difference in my class. So I have been giving this one every day, and I think my parents are going to get into the habit of looking for this point. That way they know their child is done. Now, when my kids have not finished their work, I have sent out a little private message to each of those parents just to let them know, especially when we start something new, because we just started iReady this week, and there was the lesson piece and the quiz piece to every assignment, and some of them only completed the lesson and didn't realize they had to keep going. So I would send out messages like that, not to hound these parents, but just to help them out. And they've been very, very appreciative. So I love this button, and if that's all I do, great. I used to have one that, well, no, I have my IXL one. So when my kids were doing their IXL diagnostic, I did give them a point when I saw them on there because I went to the live view and I can see what they were doing. So I feel like this is just showing parents that I'm not sitting at home watching movies all day. Like, I am sitting at home seeing what their kids are doing and showing them that I can see it, you know? But I do use these 3 the most. So that's where my points come into play, and I've enjoyed it. I wish I could give some kind of award. I guess I could give like a little shout out in my videos that I post, but that is the points that I have been giving.
All right, so I hope that you guys found that fun, exciting, interesting. Maybe it'll help you in some way, bring back that motivation, especially with all of the announcings of schools being closed. Maybe it'll give that little push that we want to give these kids, because at this time more than ever, we need to continue to show up. And I don't know about you guys, but I have just talked to some people lately that aren't feeling that motivation to really hold their kids accountable, and we can't slack right now. Like, our job is to push them the best we can. Obviously, we don't want to be overbearing, but showing them that we still care and that it still matters, I think truly helps in the motivational accountability piece. Because for my kids, I know that 16 out of 18 of them are working daily, and I can see what they're doing. And I truly believe it's because I've been interacting with my kids and my parents so much. So I know these are unique, hard, scary times for everybody, and everyone's situation is different. But as teachers, I feel like our role is to show that we are still putting in the effort, so families should still continue to put in the effort if they are able to. It's not time to slack off just because we don't have school for the rest of the year. We want to give these kids the best experience we can to help us out when we do finally get back into the classroom. So let me know if you're planning on doing this. Let me know of anything that you want to see from me in the future, and I will see y'all next time. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I also have a giveaway on my Instagram coming up soon, so make sure you're following me there, and I will see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.